Hi, my name is Austin Painter, just the project engineer here for the town of Pulaski. Just wanted to explain a little bit of what's happening to our water treatment plant. This is a proposed project for Manager Day. He is not able to be here today, but my job is to explain a little bit about this proposed project and how we're going to accomplish it. Starting out, we bring in our raw water from the Gatewood Reservoir down Peak Creek, and that raw water is brought to this treatment plant. So we're going to walk through it now. You can see here, this is what you can see from the front of the road, the front of the building, and we'll get back to the main portion of the building. But first, the raw water comes onto our site here and is mixed with some additives, and we're going to walk over and see what that looks like. So the goal of this live is just to show you a little bit about our current conditions and what we're operating in. And it's also just to give more information about what we want as a town. And one of our responsibilities as a town is to provide drinking water to all residents that are able. And this is how we do it. So first of all, we have additives that are mixed into our water and flocculation, which takes the water is brought in and it's mixed with our additives that are kept here in our additive room. And again, that is just with the purpose of adding and solidifying those particles into larger particles, as well as various disinfectants. We're going to walk over to the next portion of the process, which is what's called our super pulsator. It's where the actual chemical mixing is done, as well as the first step of filtration. So before filtration can begin, this is the step again of coagulation and flocculation, which are just fancy words to say that you're bringing out those larger particles in the water. The water is actually pulsated through the bottom of this basin and is sent to the top, where these impurities that you're seeing are separated out and removed through sludge channel. What you're left with is a more purified water that has both been disinfected and the larger particles removed. The next step is filtration, and we'll walk over to the filter house here, and you'll be able to see where the filtration is both the next step and the last step in our process here to make water. And there's a couple things I want to point out along the way. So water is brought from that super pulsator that we were at just a moment ago, and is taken through this pipe here in the old sedimentary basins and is sent into our filter base. And I just want to talk a little bit about briefly what the difference between a sedimentary basin and a super pulsator is. This here that you're seeing, these trees being grown out of the floor, is what is more commonly referred to as traditional typed water filtration, and this is it's meant to, as a prolonged period of time, to also filter or coagulate out the larger particles within the water. They would settle along the bottom, and the finished water would go onto our filter base. It does the same purpose as the super pulsator. The super pulsator, though, was meant to act as a temporary measure while rehab or long-term usage of the sedimentary base was established. And along the process, the actual basins themselves have deteriorated, as you can see, with trees growing and the pipe being slightly exposed there for the insulation. As as well as this concrete wall, which is the incoming wall into our filter bays that brings the water from the super pulsator over. And I just bring all this, or show all this, just to show a little bit of our existing conditions. And we'll go ahead and move into our filter room here to see the last step. Here are our 4 filter bays. They are brought in the water again from the super pulsator, and it is the water slowly seep through sand and media filtration as the last step to get rid of the small particles within the water. After that point, it's sent to what is called our clear well, and that is finished water ready to be sent to customers within the town. We're going to briefly, after showing a little bit more of this site, we're going to briefly walk downstairs, in which you'll be able to see some of our distribution pumps, in which we send it out to our other tanks and our distribution system to feed the houses and communities within the town of Pulaski. So we're going to walk down there real quick. It's a little bit loud, so I won't be able to say anything, but hopefully you'll be able to see it. So from down there in those pumps, it is pumped out of our town, like I said, to all of our tanks. But the next step and the last final step is definitely not the most important. But throughout this whole process, that our water plant is operated by our operators and technicians, and they monitor the levels and the quality of water throughout each and every process, as well as maintenance of all of our equipment. We'll walk in now to our lab in which all that testing is done. Here they're able to monitor all of our distribution system, as well as check the levels of all of our different processes that we've looked at and adjust accordingly. As well as you'll see all of the different water sampling that they're able to test throughout the process to ensure high quality water is sent to all residents. Again, our hope is to hopefully share some information about our facilities here at the town. And this facility is aged, and we're dealing with some equipment that has been in here for a substantial amount of time. But our operators act above and beyond, and the quality of our water that we're able to produce, even with equipment that has been aged, is impeccable. So we are very proud of our water. We're proud of what we're able to produce. But lastly, the equipment that's here, the super pulsator that was meant to act as a temporary measure, and some of the other adjustments that we looked at, that wall outside, the set basins, each of these are in need of repair. They're in need of something to bring them up to industry standard, in need of something to continue to produce this high quality water that we've been producing for so long. In order to do that, Manager Day has proposed this project to remediate and improve the entire filter plant as a whole. In order to do that, we have to fund it. We have to pay for it. Part of the purpose of this live stream is to share with the public what is the proposed rate structure and the proposed income to pay for this project, but also to show you why. It's meant to show you that this is not something that we take lightly, but we take our responsibility to produce high quality water with the utmost respect. So in order to do that, Manager Day has proposed this project and this rate structure to be able to move forward and get the revenue needed to do an improvement project for this facility. So you can see here the difference between this previous past year's rate structure and the proposed that will be voted on by council. As well as the next panel will be the average increase for some user examples. As you can see, the average single resident, according to VDH, they're at 2,400 gallons. This is how it will affect their bill difference of $7.45, as well as four-person average commercial, high volume commercial, and high volume industrial. And again, each of these are averages based on VDH's standards. Lastly, in order to do this project, the revenue has actually been split over the course of 3 years. So this rate increase and revenue shift will be for the next 3 years as a proposed plan. So in order to start construction and start the rehabilitation, you're looking at the same increase over the next 3 cycles, 3-year cycles. We want to thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions or comments, we'd be happy to answer them. If you have to go into more detail than any of this, feel free to leave comments on Facebook or contact other town staff. And thank you.